I've already spilt food down me, so this is a great start to this video. Welcome YouTube to another video. Hope everyone is feeling fantastic. And we're breaking into week 14 of this push-up. Currently it's sat at 283.8 this morning. So the scale weight is going up. You join me on today's rest day. And it's a great rest day, I'll tell you that. And something I was going to discuss today on a rest day that I thought would be worth mentioning would be food sources. Something to think about during your push-up is food sources, because something I mentioned in my last video is how I've changed some of my sources of food so to make things go down easier. We'll actually be able to get the food in, shall we say. In popular social media, we have certain figures who are doing things on two different sides of the spectrum, and someone like that Sam Sulek, I butchered his name, is on that end of the spectrum with his bodybuilding, where he sort of gets calories in. It's working for him, great, tremendous. I mean, for many of us, drinking a litre of chocolate milk would just ruin our digestion for the end of the day. And I don't think I've never been able to drink milk just straight like that instantly. I'm being sick. Fucking disgusting. Then we have Abbew, who's like an old bodybuilder, and granted he's not really talking about bodybuilding, spouting some absolute waffle, and but he's trying to come from a good place when he's not trying to sell his ebook. What I'm going to talk about today is food choices. Whole foods, using whey proteins like supplements, as well as your choices of food. Now, ultimately, it's going to be what digests well, because we're talking from a bodybuilding aspect. So if you're trying to think about health, these kinds of things, let's put that to a side. We're not talking about optimal health. This is competitive. We are doing things potentially that aren't the best, hence why it's not sustainable for a very, very long period of time. First and foremost, your food sources, like myself, I'm going to think what digests well. And then it's going to be, I want to try and get whole foods in. I know that whole foods and a food first approach is going to be best, but realistically, 300-400 grams of protein, that ain't going to happen. Even in my prep, that probably isn't going to happen. I ain't going to do it. So I'm going to use some whey protein in there, because that is realistic. That is going to make my day easier. You know, if I've got a lot of client check-ins to do, I've got plans to make, I've got a training session to make, I've got a lot to do in a day. Some of you will be people who work in construction. You know, you get one break, it's half an hour, you work an 8-hour day, you travel, your travel time is maybe 2 hours. You've got a 10-hour day that you're looking at. You know, you're not going to be able to tuck into whole foods for all your meals across 6 meals or 5 meals in that day. It's unrealistic. So we've got to think about that. So I'm going to use some supplements. They work. Good quality supplement. It works. It does the job. If your whey powder and your whey isolate digest well, let's use it. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Once your digestion's been battered a little bit, etc., you're going to need to change things. Certainly from, and as I said, I did say about women, I was talking about well-being and health, but certainly there are things we can do that are going to help longevity in our gut, because if we think about your gut constantly being hammered, etc., you're constantly eating high protein, eating lots and lots of food, over the years it's going to accumulate, and you will start to have issues and intolerances. It just happens. We can certainly put good habits in now and get micronutrients in and making sure we get our fiber in to set ourselves up in having a better gut. And if we can take our nutrients on better, it's only going to help you grow faster. Certainly, when as you start to get bigger, etc., it's something you really want to think about. Also, sometimes how foods make you feel. Certainly, if we're having lots of high fats, sometimes that can make you feel really sluggish and slow, which is then going to impact you on, can you get your carbohydrate down? Can you get your protein down? Can you be able to perform in the gym well? That's going to have aspects on you. So that's something to think about, and this is something that will fall into place as it sort of goes on. If you are doing it on your own, if you hire a coach, someone like myself, you know, that we're going to put those things in place already to get you going, as we've already made those mistakes. You don't necessarily need to do that. We're going to work with your body quickly, make sure that your body's working the best way possible. So when it comes to making your food choices, remember, big things, my key take homes for a lot of you to take on board would be, what can you adhere to? Well, it's going to be first and foremost yield results, then it's going to be digestion, then think about longevity. These three things are pretty key, which two of them, you know, these two for sure, if you can't adhere to your diet, you ain't making any results. Then what digests well, and if it's not digesting well, your body's not breaking it down, making you shit your pants, you don't feel good, you're not going to be in a good place, yet again, not going to yield the results that you want. And then obviously this one is where you need to think about longevity, etc. And just think, you know what, I want to be a professional bodybuilder, I want to be massive, I want to be a 300-pound big unit on stage, blasting people with most musculars. Then obviously that's something you need to think about as well. And that will happen with time. Right, it's a rest day today, so I'm going to carry on with the rest of the vlog, and I'm going to eat into tomorrow's session. So tomorrow we're training legs, so I won't get the camera out till tomorrow, because today all I'm doing is chilling out and just going to polish a bit more work off, and I have to go to the shop for my wife. I fucking hate going to the shop for my wife. You know why? Because I don't like going to the shop. Making my pre-workout meal. And as you can see, I'm doing it in a shake. So I'm at that period of time, I just need to get the food in. And eating a huge bowl of cream of rice is going to slow me the fuck right down. I've been doing this and it digests very, very well. It just seems to go down really well. So I can get away with this blend. And like I said about whey protein, look, I don't really fancy chomping down on a chicken breast with this meal, but also that's just going to slow me with the fuck down. That is going to, and I'm not going to want to train in 2 hours time. I'm just going to want to sit down still. I'm going to feel a bit fucked up. So this is why I'm having whey as it sit. It's light on the tummy. It digests well. It's an easy way for me to bang in about 50 grams of protein, even though I think actually doing about 60 grams of protein from whey with this meal. Sorry for the crotch shot. There we go. Nobody's seeing that. I'm a married man. You know, some people have a fit at this, but literally this is a means to an end at this point of time of this off-season push. I'm going to drink this. I'm going to watch a bit of training on the telly. See, I'm going to go training and watch a bit of training before that. Bit of Inception. I know, crazy. And then we've got a leg day. So, big leg day. Got to grow these wheels. And I've made a schoolboy error because I've got to put my socks on before I leave. And at 283 pounds, putting socks on is rather difficult.
Come on, fucking work. Right.
Come on. It's the aftermath for training legs with me. Welcome to Ginger Training. Exclusive coaching. Join a session. That's what happens to you. 50 reps, a giant set on here. And I did 5 and a 5. He did 4 and a 5. 50. Hang on, you made me do an extra one as well. I'm not letting you have that one. Fuck. Mate, they're so good, I can't bend them. Oh, mate. Oh mate, fuck! I can't do it. I'm fucked. Join me for meal 5, which is a whole food meal. We've got spinach in there, so we've got some micros. Only a small amount of spinach, not a huge amount in there. And we've got potatoes, air fried, with extra virgin olive oil over them with chicken breast. So this is a whole food meal. This is easy. This is an easy one to get in, and it digests well, sits well, and I can eat again in about 2 hours' time for that last feed of the day. Which I'm gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna, if you've seen my full day of eating, you know what it is. But there's no way I'm chomping down another fucking chicken breast or some beef before going to bed. Right before going to bed, that would take me way too deep in the night, as eating 6 meals, which are, you know, pretty carb dense, proteins and got some fats in as well. Yeah, it takes a little while to get it down. So when we go to we got the theory, and we try to apply to the theory to the practical situation. That's when it's like we need to think of practicality, and we know how important sleep is. We know how important you getting cracking on with life is, as well as your bodybuilding. Look, we've all got bills to pay. People be able to afford to bodybuild. Can't just fuck around, especially with some people who work jobs that aren't bodybuilding related. Also, probably the best condiment ever to live. Nice, you know? Tommy Gay.
Today's weighing. You saw it, 285.
I bet I'm zoomed in a lot on my head, didn't I? Let me move you around. There we go. You saw I was 285. Now, yesterday, I went out to a shopping centre for the first time in forever. I've been lived here for 4 years. Full-time bodybuilding life, mate. I don't have time to walk around. Yesterday, I did have time while she went shopping. And, yeah, expenditure was higher, so I came in today about just under 284, so 283.9. It is what it is. Higher expenditure is going to happen, but big check-in tomorrow with myself, so we'll see what the game plan is. And that has been the week. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and like, subscribe until the next one. Get fucking huge, do what you need to do, and don't be a melt.